Okay, wait a second. When we were looking earlier, we see the 18 getting back into the garage area, but just spun moments ago. And he's the fastest car on the track. So he has turned the fastest lap. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was the quickest. He's coming out of the final turn.
Yeah. I love how he said the final turn because he's afraid to give it a number.
Yeah, don't give it a number there after that radio. But it looked like he just got in, and when he tried to turn in, it didn't turn in. When you watch right here, he is about right here. He needs to be going to the right, turning in, and you see him kind of miss the corner right there. He was a little bit up off the curb, and when he turned in, it just stepped out on him.
And that's, I know it seems like a simple 90-degree corner, Kyle,
but it's not.
Man, I have fought drive off out of that corner. Can't get the rear tires hooked up. He was like in the middle of a corner.
Yeah.
Because you're...
Red flag is out at Watkins Glen, and we welcome you back to Xfinity Series practice number 1. And unfortunately, that is the 18 car of Daniel Suarez just coming out of the bus stop and into the carousel. Steve?
Yeah, we talk about how fast this track is for the whole Sprint Cup practice. We see right at the top of your screen, Daniel Suarez is already sideways. He's exited the bus stop, turning hard to get into the carousel, has lost the back of the race cars, tried to spin around on him.
Wow.
And you see heavy driver's side contact. Luckily, there's those tires there, Kyle, so it's not directly into the guardrail.
And Daniel hopped out under his own power, so he's okay.
Yeah, you see him just coming into your picture. And that's as you exit the bus stop or the inner loop, as you exit that, you go out, and we were talking during commercial break here, and Parker's pointed out.
Time this year that he's in a backup car, so he has done very well lately. See the 25 of John Wes Townley spinning out of the final corner.
Yes, and we saw Kyle Busch spin here in the Cup Series.
Don't back up.
So it can happen to anyone.
Go forward.
See, let's go back to what Daniel was saying. Oh, sorry.
Down to your road, goes to you.
Yep, and they'll take John Wes Townley in. What Daniel was saying about his incident.
Yeah, I mean, that last corner that John Wes Townley spins out in is pretty, I won't say simple, but it's a pretty direct 90-degree corner. It's just very hard on rear grip. And you see right here, the 25 gets into the corner. He's up out of the groove a little bit, and the rear tires just come around. There's just no or not enough grip in that 25 car for him to successfully make that corner. You see, he's almost, maybe the right front kind of catches the curb and de-wedges the car and spins the car out. And when you look at corners, not to downplay the last corner and make it seem simple, it at least resembles some corners, Kyle, that people would run at a road course track.
Here's Todd Bodine with a little trouble.
We have seen this action a couple of times today. We saw it with John Wes Townley, now with Todd Bodine. And we saw it in the first practice. Kyle Busch did the same thing. Basically starts to turn in the corner, and it just steps out enough that it just comes around loose on entry.
See Kurt coming into the bus stop. He's really loose on the braking right there. Now he's just out of control. Gets in there hot, locks it down. That new pavement they put in a few years ago, he's able to just stop the car. A few years ago, that was grass. He could have slid in. There was a sand pile there for a little while. He would have gotten stuck. But all that started on the straightaway. He was in there, drove in the corner too deep, got on the brakes, the thing started coming around.
And the caution will come out. Will Joey Logano get credited for the pass?
Stop right there. Stop.
Got flames coming out from underneath the 25 of John Wes Townley. Fire suppression systems on these cars, both in the area where the drivers sit, but also underneath the hood and in the trunk area, the back of the cars.
Obviously, he's not in a real big rush to get out, so he's probably feels like he has a fire extinguished, and sometimes it's hard to get out of these race cars in a hurry. And also, remember, there's a rule. You have to wait for NASCAR to get there. If it's an immediate emergency, you can egress, obviously, but he probably felt like it was okay and just wanted to sit and wait.
He had the most points and best average finish of any of these guys on road courses last year.
And around he goes. Coming through. Yeah, the bus stop. He goes around. We stay green. We'll see if he gets it going and headed in the right direction. We will.
Teammates there. It looked like the 9 of Chase Elliott was trying to get back in front of Regan Smith. Had a decent run off the top of the S's, but not a tremendous amount of momentum to get him by the 7.
You see, here's the 9 car on the inside, trying to work past the 7. The right side's all the way in the grass, gets into the side of the 7, and around he goes. Very difficult to try to make that pass unless you're all the way up next to a guy. I mean, clearly next to him. You don't try that. He was too far behind to try to make that work. Tried to late break him, tried to beat him under braking, didn't want to run into him, got off the racetrack, ended up spinning out.
Dropped him all the way back to 25th in the running, and that's not good. That was off of Joey Logano's car, the gas man not able to pull that away from the car. And again, we mentioned this is different. Everything's backwards here at Watkins Glen. Take a look.
It is backwards. The fuel man has to lean the other way, and you see right there, he's used to pulling the gas can the other direction. When he tries to pull it to his left, doesn't work. He gets stuck in the car, and that right there, it falls out. So he didn't drag it onto the racetrack, but almost at this point, you'd rather have him drag it onto the racetrack because it's going to be a penalty. He's going to have to come back into pit road.
Just behind Paul Menard. Ty Dillon in the 3. And we've got a spin back behind them. Looks like Ryan Reed in the 16 around.
That was the 88.
We stay green. He was running
Yeah, the 88
14th.
just ran him over.
He was on the brakes hard, but got into the left rear quarter panel.
88 a little bit too aggressive there, trying to over brake. 16 had no idea he was coming at that high rate of a speed. Turned right to go into the line that he was supposed to be in, and the 88 was there. He just had no idea he was going to be there.
Mike, we see the 28 of Yaley as he goes into turn 1. Saw Brandon Godovic move out a little bit wider, and Yaley decides he needed to take the grass.
Yeah, Brandon turned right as if he was going to stay right, and he turned back left. JJ had no idea he was coming back left, got run back into the grass. I don't think he hit the wall there, though.
He's thankful that's paved now, not the old gravel trap.
And Habul trying to make that move work again.
Ty Dillon trying to make it 3 wide as they go into turn 1. Around goes Regan Smith after the contact. We stay green. He fires it back up. Cars have been involved with some type of issues. Take a look at this.
Yeah, Ty Dillon way in the grass, just trying to be way too aggressive. It's just nowhere for him to go. The 7 got turned around. You know, that just a little more patience required there. I know it's hard to pass, but ultimately it hurt Ty too. He lost some spots on only 1 spot, but Brendan Gaughan did a great job of getting around the 7 car. Lucky that wasn't bigger. This was way in the front of the pack. Lucky this wreck wasn't bigger than it was. Everybody did a great job of clearing the 7.
Brendan Gaughan had to go way down to the inside to get by.
He's way out of the groove. Never got it turned. Hit the wall hard. That's the last right-hander coming onto the front straightaway. He just was out of the groove coming into the corner. Never could get it to turn.
Past the rumble strips, and around goes Regan Smith. Coming out of turn 5, he goes around. Smoke on the racetrack. No caution yet. And the caution does come out.
Anytime I want a yellow, I'm just going to say that we don't normally have one. And I think one will come out.
And we'll have a restart.
That's unfortunate for Regan Smith. He had a great run going earlier in the race when we got turned around at turn 1 by Ty Dillon. I know Ty didn't mean it, but he ended up getting the 7 backwards. He had recovered all the way back up to 12th position, and here he is.
My will be pushed in. Splitter will be down. My will be pushed in.
Some heavy damage.
See Brendan Gaughan way up out of the groove. The 7 on the bottom. Brendan comes down the 7. Brendan just came down on him, got into the side of the 7. I don't think Brendan knew that he was there. The 7 had a run on him, and Brendan just, I don't think he knew he was there, turned right on him. And yeah, Regan had to feel like he had that spot. That spot was his. Brendan was way out of the groove. You know, he felt really comfortable trying to get in that spot, and then Brendan started to come down. You see him try to check up and not get in the side of him, but he just couldn't get slowed up enough. Stack up behind him. Let's see what the result of that is, getting into 1.
3 of Ty Dillon does it again. He gets into the back, this time of Paul Menard in the 33. 2 times in a row we've seen it. Last time was the 7 of Regan Smith. This time it's the 33 of Paul Menard.
There's just nowhere for him to go right there. I understand he wants the spot, but it's just not a spot to go. So you take those spots, and that's okay. You know, he came out of it in 4th, but you got to understand there's another restart coming. There's another corner coming. So if you get run over, you can't complain. You just can't take that spot that aggressively.
Everybody having to fan out. Chris Buescher on the outside. Steve, you mentioned he just wants to get done with this race, not lose any positions.
Remember, Ty's in this championship battle too. You know, you have to be careful when you're this aggressive. I mean, certainly he came out good. He came out of the good side of that, but when you are this aggressive, it's easy for other people to get aggressive with you too in the future. So you're in this championship battle. Don't take yourself out of it.
Oh, and around goes the 15. Ryan Ellis.
Go, go, go.
Ryan Ellis in the 15. You heard him. Go, go, go.
At the bus stop, Ryan's back going again.
The caution doesn't come out until now. The 20 of Kenny Habul hit hard. Caution is out. Coming out of turn 7, Kenny Habul was running 8th. Fire.
Easy, easy, you're on fire now.
See the safety crew getting over to him.
Having trouble getting the winning net down. Winning net got hung up. Got to unhook the helmet hose before you get out.
Kenny Habul was running 8th. Had Elliott Sadler behind him, was trying to hold off the hard-charging Elliott Sadler. You guys mentioned it was probably just a matter of time. Let's take a look at what just happened.
And you actually see the Elliott Sadler had already got by the 20, and there was Brendan Gaughan. They were both vying for the position going through the last corner. It looked like Brendan Gaughan tried to get in the inside of the 20, got down on the grass, came up into the 20, or they ran into each other. After the 20 spun, the 16 got into him.
Yeah, Ryan Reed, pretty hard contact with the front of the 20.
You see the 62 on the bottom trying to make a move there. I have to say that's a very tough place to make a move. Things happen really quick. You come off the next to last corner, you're almost immediately turning back to the right. It's a really aggressive move to try to make a pass there.
It's the final right-hander.
It's a passing zone because he made the pass, but it's just a tough place to make the pass.
A lot of smoke, and Ryan Reed really didn't know where that 20 was going to end up.
Yeah, tough break for Ryan Reed.
It's a hard shot for sure. Right here, you're on board.
Yes.
Oh, man, that's a hard shot for sure. Luckily, it got to hit him in front of the driver's door a little bit. Here's back a little bit farther. Looks like Habul gets a little loose off that, and Brendan Gaughan gets a run on him. He's definitely beside him there, but he's really deep into the corner, and I don't know, it looks like the 62 drove in really deep, but the 20 definitely didn't leave him a lane. The 20 came down all the way to the bottom lane, like maybe he didn't know the 62 had made that run to his right.
Well, and that's what I talked about before, is that things happen so quickly there that Kenny came off, lost the racetrack, but just didn't see him there. Dave
Burns.
Kenny has seen the replay. Did you think you had the corner there?
I didn't hear nothing from my spotters, and just looking at how deep he went in there was just no way he would have turned himself without me. But anyway, that's all right. Thanks to Joe Gibbs, and thank you to Stones. You won. It was a good run. We're in the top 10 all day, and we're looking for a top 5 at the end there. We had some speed at the end, and that's the way it goes, off to mid-Ohio.
We know how excited you were when Denny won at New Hampshire with your company on the car. Would this have been a win for you if you could have held that position?
It would have been a great day. You know, we didn't have much qualifying pace, which was unusual. But the race pace, I mean, we did the same times that we did in qualifying the whole race without too much drama. So the car was great and would have been great. But you know what? I'm still happy with a good run.
And it was a hard hit. You okay?
Hard hit? Yeah, it's all right. A couple of scotches. I'll be fine.
Get the left front now. The 20 just came down on me. I was all the way to his right front wheel, and he just turned down.
Took place. The 15 of Ryan Ellis got turned around, and this was in the bus stop.
Again, trying to carry a lot of speed, getting into the bus stop. Just now, you got me saying bus stop. Getting into the inner loop, and
I knew I'd win that battle. It's the bus stop.
Just couldn't hold the back of the car.
We saw some of the ductwork flying off of the 15 as well. So they're cleaning up the track. We want to have as clean a track as we can for the remaining 5 laps from the Glen. He doesn't want to get too far away from victory lane. Oh, and we've got issues. Ty Dillon, Regan Smith. We saw Ty Dillon get into Regan Smith on a restart. The discussion hasn't gone well.
We got 2 more road course races coming in the next 3 weeks.
Dillon. Ty, a lot of contact out there on the track today. What do you think Regan's point was trying to be here?
I don't know. He didn't say much. So he's going to wreck me, but we'll see. You know, I hate that for his guys, but it's a mistake on my fault. Honestly, I was going to talk to him about it, but I guess he didn't want to talk. So if he wants to do that, meet him in the bus line. We'll handle it. I'm not afraid. But proud of our Yingling Light Lager Chevrolet. Nick and the boys did a good job. I just made 2 real big mistakes, and I took full blame for it. But you want to come down here picking a fight, it's a different game. I'll get whatever you want.
Describe what you were trying to do on that restart, Ty.
I got a good run on Boris. Or that was the second one. I got a good run, cut to the inside, and it's the first time I've done that here at this racetrack, and I've seen people be able to do it, and I just didn't complete it. As simple as that. I made a big mistake. Got to wheel hopping, and there was no saving. I did it 2 times in a row. I'm very disappointed in myself for doing that. Not only did I tear up everybody else's car, but I tore up mine. Very apologetic about that, but not about after the race.
Top 5 for Ty Dillon today. Mike?
And Regan Smith walking back toward the garage. What was your side of the story?
Well, I got dumped in turn 1. It was pretty plain and simple, and I don't think I'm the only one that he dumped today, so it's disappointing for Tax Slayer, all the guys at Junior Motorsports that work really hard on these race cars. I guarantee you, I might have lost the championship today, but he sure as hell did too. There's 0 chance that 3-car wins this championship, and I'm gonna make sure of it.
He took responsibility for what happened on the restart. He actually took issue with the comments afterwards, but as far as restart goes, he took responsibility.
Well, of course he did. He came out of all of them unscathed. I'd take responsibility too, as well as if I knew that the car was back there in 30th place, out of my way. You ain't got to worry about it when you do that.
Regan Smith, we're going to let him go. Obviously very upset, guys.
Time in and out. So you're looking at a 15-minute run.
Oh, we've got problems with
we've had an issue.
Eric Almirola and Paul Menard in the 27.
Yeah, that's down into turn 1. We're going to see this a lot today. Turn 1 is a heavy braking zone. There's damage on the right side of the 43. You see them smoking.
Paul Menard and
Eric Almirola, sorry.
We have a problem.
Right.
These are both drivers that are doing their best to get into the chase. So problems early in a race is not what either one of these drivers need.
Greg Biffle on the inside of the 43.
And the 43 just gets loose on the outside of the 16. He's already turning back to the left, trying to keep his car. You see the 27. He's committed to that lane. He gets on the brakes hard, but at that speed, there's just nothing Paul Menard could do. He gets into the right front of the 43. A little bit of damage, has some tire smoke. You see here the 16 gets underneath the 43, and the 43, Jeff, you've mentioned this before all weekend long. The 43 looked like he was in control, but as the rear tires went up over that painted curb, it definitely got loose.
Issues for Jeff Gordon. They take the green flag with Jeff Gordon sitting on pit road, and the hood is up once again on Denny Hamlin's car riding around the racetrack. For Gordon, they have a brake line leak. He has now gone down a lap. He'll go down multiple laps as they find a new line to repair the 24 car. Second year in a row, they've got a fast car at Watkins Glen, but had issues with mechanical things.
Lost the hood. This is the 11. Because of the speeding penalty, he's back further in the field.
And this is on the restart. You can see everybody gets bottled up. Some cars in the front didn't get moving as well as the others. They eventually get bottled up. And you can see the 11 hit the back of the 38. That probably sheared the hood pins, messed up the hood pin bar. Eventually the hood comes up.
You see it right here, Jamie McMurray right up against the bumper of the 3. You have to be very careful.
And around goes the 51 of Justin Allgaier. He gets it pointed the correct direction.
Still coming.
And we stay green.
It's very easy to get spun out. You see at the top of your screen, the 51, he just comes into the screen loose. Jimmy Johnson right behind him. I don't know if there was contact early. As much gap as there was between the cars, it looks like the 51 maybe just overdrove turn 1 and lost the back of the car.
And the 3 had an issue. Take a look at the 42 coming in. Maybe a little hot. Got into the back of the 3. Around they went.
That's a good example of getting into turn 1. He just carrying too much speed. You saw it got really loose getting into the corner, and the 3 was doing nothing wrong. Complete victim.
Race 45 laps to go. Oh, and this 3 with an issue with the left rear. The tire carcass just comes off and the caution comes out. And no one was on pit road.
Nice and smooth.
There was some contact with the 42 earlier. They thought it was just a tire rub. Obviously, it got worse.
Pit this time here, pit this time.
Carl Edwards on his outside in row number 1. NASCAR reminded Brad Keselowski, we need a clean start out of you. And as he gets a clean start, they bottle up behind him. The one of Jamie McMurray.
Caution, 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 caution.
See a lot of damage to both the front and the rear of that one of McMurray.
And the 5 was also involved. Heavy damage on Casey Kane in the 5. He can't have this after his trouble last week at Pocono. The 5 needed a good run. Jamie McMurray, though, another guy on the chase bubble. 2 chase contenders, trouble on this restart.
On the restart, he just doesn't get going. I don't know if he misses shifts right there, missed a shift. 20 had to slow up. Everybody just had to check up. The guys behind him couldn't see and ran into the back of each other. Watch right here. Watch the 1 car. 22, the 1 hits, the 27 hits the 1, and they all just pile into each other.
The 48 does a great job. Excuse me. That was, I think, the 40 of Landon Castle does a great job avoiding the 5 with the hood crumpled up. Yeah, you see right here, Landon Castle on the left side of your screen does a great job of not adding to the mess, being another car in the line.
And this is what we see at Watkins Glen and Sonoma for that matter. Restarts are so difficult. Somebody makes a mistake, everybody's in one spot, everybody's going straight versus into a corner, quick corner. People run into each other. And then when you do get to the corner, you're side by side. Restarts have always been an issue at Watkins Glen and Sonoma.
Let's look at the last lap. Joey Logano going into turn number 1 has Boris said sliding just in front of him, and way out of the line goes Joey Logano, but as you mentioned, saves it. And then right back into the gas, chasing down the 4 of Kevin Harvick, right out of 6. Harvick's out of gas. Looks like he had a little bit there in 7. Got it going again, but wasn't able to hang on.
Yeah, you can see the 4, it would shut off, but then it would pick enough fuel up and it would take off running again. So Kevin was still in the gas. He almost got in the back of the 22 when it started running again.
And I think